Well, when it rains, it pours. This morning I was going to go take the car to work. After I put the new coil spring in the back, this coil spring decided to break back into the driveway. Would you look at that? Getting all new struts and wheel bearings is going to get a full make. To get the wheel bearing off, you need a 12 point. This is probably not the right one, but 15/16. Put the spare tire on so that way you can put the car in park, and then you just get a breaker bar on here and break those loose. They're pretty jack stands underneath there so nobody gets hurt. This baby broke too. Look at that. Crazy. Oh, when that one broke on the back, they must have all went with it. And the car got jolted. All right, we got to move brake calipers, the rotor, remove that bolt, and remove I'm gonna remove back here the wheel speed sensor and try to get that out the best I can without screwing it up. And then I gotta take the top cowling off to get this off. Tip of the day, if you're doing your wheel bearings and you don't want to break your wheel speed sensor, you can go on this side and put a little WD-40 and stuff, and you can just tap it real gently this way out and get it out without, if you twist that, you're just gonna break it off. And yeah, I've liberated it. Another thing, you want to make sure you get all your rust off of here because you don't want any rust jacking to hold that sensor up, or it won't give you the right signals. It's all cleaned up. Got this cleaned up good enough. Got that cleaned up good enough. All right, we're starting to go back together with the new wheel bearings. I cleaned everything up. New wheel bearings slid in pretty nice. I put just the tiniest bit of grease on there when I slid it in. The new bolts, 70 Newton meters, and then additional 90 after that's done. I'll give you kind of an idea of what the specs are here. There you can see up there in the top one, suspense strut to wheel housing. Those are all the specs. The wheel speed sensor, I put just a tiny bit of anti-seize on there. Don't get it on the sensing element. Just so that way if it goes out, next time it'll come out easier, and then reinstall. Just like that. Take yourself a punch, hold this straight up and down, tap the punch in there and just tap it right here until it's all the way on, it's fully seated. Strut bolts on the top, they're 15 Newton meters plus a 90, so I just put a mark on here, right here, and I turned it another 90. Hard spot here, I didn't get to use a real high-tech torque wrench, but it's done. Also, when you put these struts on, these arrows on the struts, let's see here. Here's an arrow. Let's look at the other one. See, here's arrow directions. They need to point in the direction the car travels. So when I took the car apart, I noticed where these dimples were, and I put the dimples back in the same spot that I took them off. But yeah, that's something you got to keep track of. These need to be pointing in the direction the car travels. The ball joints to 44 foot-pounds. Tie rod in, 65 Newton meters. Supposed to put a new nut on. I put a bunch of Loctite on this, so I feel comfortable that it's not coming off. Torsion bolt here to 65. It seemed to take it. I didn't really see it in the ball data, but 65 Newton meters on the strut hold down bolt. All right, when torquing the axle bolt, tighten it down 200 Newton meters, and you go an additional 180 degrees. And then she's torqued. Finish the job up, torque them to 89 foot-pounds, and then put your little things back in there. Your little bolt protector. Back on the road, driving, we're going. She needs an alignment yet, and then she's done.